All right. We have a big offsite this week.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting to go sit in a conference room for 48 hours,
what do you think
basically,
about
and lock
that?
us in. We did this last year for the first time.
Yeah.
I thought it was very productive. I think you learn, when you're not getting distracted by the million different things, you can really just look forward to what are we doing next year, what are we doing the year after that. Some good things can come from it. We have some good discussion topics, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's very corporate, but...
It is corporate. But I think we need it. I feel like we have 2 camp counselors coming. We hired these 2 people to basically give us counseling.
Have you talked about that at all on this?
No. What do you think about Tim and Marianne? Describe who they are.
So we brought in outside counsel, I would say, to just look under the hood at how we operate between departments, how even you, it was basically a place where you could have the freedom of autonomy. Is that the word I'm looking for? Where you could say whatever you want and not be held unfiltered. There's it's almost like you're talking to your doctor and they a therapist. Yeah. And they can't hold it against you in the court of law type of thing. Yeah. So I think there was how many meetings they did? There's 2 people. Are they married?
They're married.
Husband and wife. They run this company where they just go look
out
at
of Massachusetts. They're great.
Yeah.
I love them.
Yep. They sat with probably 20, 30 people.
And they're much older than us, which I like. I think that made it also feel kind of safe.
Yeah. They're definitely an older couple, and they were fascinated to hear kind of I think what we do, but I'm sure it was. I think I said to you when you talked about this and we introduced them, I just said good luck.
Yeah.
That was my thing. It was like the Taken guy, and Liam Neeson. Good luck. How are you going to crack this crazy place?
But I think it's hopefully going to work.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to hear what they say because I don't think there's anything.
They have a lot to say.
Yeah, who do you compare Barstool to?
They're we're a dysfunction junction.
Yeah,
there's so many great things about Barstool. They're you guys are off the charts in so many ways, and then they're you guys are so dysfunctional.
Yeah, so maybe I'll be excited to see that. That's one big part of it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, I think
you're kind of stepping up and taking on describe the revenue idea thing.
Yeah, we're doing a lot. I mean, I feel like we were doing a lot this year. The revenue stuff has been important for us, more so. No, I would say more so important than ever, but we're thinking about more things. I used to always just be how do we just get more people to know about Barstool? Yeah. Now it's how do we do that by also make as much money?
Yeah.
Which is kind of been a great learning experience and stuff. I feel like we still barely scratched the surface on what we can do on that side of things. So,
what do you think about keeping Barstool? I feel like I'm spending more and more time worried about that. One of the reasons I want to do the corporate shit and have the camp counselors and all that is that I'm we've made it. It's too hard to get stuff done. We're becoming a little bit bureaucratic where it's you got to talk to this person, that person. There's not enough clarity about what you do and what you own. I loved my early time at Barstool because it was one, I had to worry every day about a very simple number of things, nobody getting in jail, and 2, making payroll. It was we made content. We made a simple amount of content. And I think getting back to simple jobs will help us do that.
Yeah, I mean, I've started to see it I'm in more conversations with different departments and the getting things done. It's I feel like we had this conversation 3 times if you're talking to a certain department. Yeah. It's why are we we're just kind of spinning our wheels here.
Yeah.
And I think keeping Barstool has always been the most important thing to me as the first employee with Dave, and I even find myself now with Dave, Dave's in Miami and he's and I'm I will kind of fight a lot for Barstool because I care. I was one of the first fans of Barstool. So I get annoyed when I see things that I don't think will align with the brand, whether it's coming from sales perspective, being we got to do this for this brand because we need it's at the end of the day, if we're not authentic to what Barstool is, people are going to get turned off and they're going to go find some other podcast or some other show or some other hot new brand. Barstool's been here for 18 years. We're still looked at predominantly as a new brand, and that's something that has to happen. It has to continue to stay that way, and I think PENN, with that whole change coming, isn't really going to change much. They're just going to be more in the mix, and I think they get that too because
and they want that too. Yeah. It's so funny because it's also as we get bigger and older, we have to change more. I had a conversation with the commerce team this morning, and they're hey, Chiclets doesn't want to make viral shirts about players anymore because the players complained. And now they're friends with the players. Yeah. And it's that's a big change for us. We were never afraid to make the funniest thing.
Dave would rip on people all the time, but he's changed too. The Patriots stuff. Early on, he would rip the Patriots, and now it's he's just a craft guy. And that's fine. It's worked.
Yeah.
I think, but as a fan of a player or a team, and those guys have relationships and they're friends with them and family, like you adjust to it. I think players come on because they have the ability to.
Yeah, and they feel like it's safe.
Exactly.
So like I get the tension. It's
Yep,
like,
and with Pat
I get
Bev,
it.
like we
Totally.
Pat Bev, from the Lakers, who we signed, and he's sitting next to LeBron James
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
And we've had opinions about LeBron James. And we'd even asked him, like, what do you think about what we should do from a social perspective when we talk about people that you're probably friends with? He's just like, sling it. Like,
Really?
we'll deal with it.
Yeah.
Like, he'll come, like, we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
when
But,
we
like,
get
I
to
don't want to put, and I think that's why Pat has been a great partner early
'cause
on.
he can
He's just
sling
like,
it.
go do you,
Yeah.
and I'll make, me, and we'll cross if I
Yeah.
feel like you've done anything wrong. But granted, yeah. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys.
Cool.
All right. You ever going back to Miami? I hope not.
I know I've been here for a month now. No, this has been eye-opening being here for a month, figuring out how to be here more next year as we go. So, yeah.
I thought about your dad this weekend where, and then I'll let you go. So there's this really interesting story about, do you guys know that for all the trains in the world, all the trains,
like trains
there is
on tracks.
one company in Buffalo, New York that repairs the parts.
Oh, it's like my dad.
One family-run business. And I was like, it's just like Gaz's dad.
Yeah.
One family-run business, and
Yeah.
they repair all the trains. So they've got to figure out like how to ship train parts to Dubai and get them back. It was super interesting.
Yeah.
I
People
was
probably
like, I
asking,
love
what did your
Gaz's
dad's
dad.
grandparents invent? Like way back, quickly.
Yeah.
It was like basically the hydraulic system for a plow.
Yeah.
It makes the plow go up and down, left and
Okay.
right. Like early 1900s, they developed the first.
That's your family.
They developed the first product for that, and they were the
Okay.
only ones that could repair them and all that stuff. People still use them this day. Now, obviously,
Yeah.
the plowing is huge, but that was like the first one, and then people came and created their own versions of it. But we were the go-to shop
So
for that.
interesting.
So that's how the company, yeah.
It's cool.
Business still exists. I left it for Barstool
I know, it's
18 years ago.
crazy.
My dad said I'd be back in 6 months, and now I'm here. So
Now you're like,
yeah,
king
I'm
of the
not
internet.
back.
Yeah, I'm sorry.